My name is Amanda. I'm a doctor and a mom and a wife in the UK, and my channel is all about health and lifestyle. Today it is the last video of 2021, and I actually started my channel on the 1st of January 2021, and so it feels like a very full circle moment, a time to reflect. And at the moment I'm actually away in Cornwall on a little weekend break with a few of my friends, and I just thought now would probably be a good time to do a bit of reflect on the year, because it's been a nice weekend to be doing that. It's going to be Christmas Eve, I believe, when this video comes out, so Merry Christmas to everyone. Really getting into the festive spirit. But what I want this video to be was just a reflection on the last year. I looked online and I found 5 questions to ask yourself at the end of the year to reflect, to really bring the year to a close and to move on to the next one. And so the reason that I'm not doing another video on New Year's Eve is because we'll be away at that time on a little break in Italy, providing that COVID rules allow. And so that vlog will be the first video you see in the new year, but this will definitely be the last video. So the 5 questions, I encourage you all to give it a go as well. But yeah, let's get into it. I've got it here on my iPad. So the first question is, describe your year in 3 words. This one's always really difficult when you're given minimal words to use, especially when you're a talker like me. But if you asked me this question a few months ago, I think my words would have been quite negative. But I've had a bit of things have improved. And so when I look at the last year, I would say my 3 words are evolution, acceptance and resilience. 2021 has been a year of very high highs and very low lows for me. I think this year has probably been my most difficult year, and a lot has happened in it, and there's been points in it where I felt extremely low, extremely defeated. I've had troubles with work, home, just everything, and so I feel like I've come out the other side at the end of it, and that's why I've talked about resilience. And also I've had a big shift in understanding who I am and accepting that, and that's where the acceptance comes into it, and the evolution is just because of the change that's happened to me over the last year. And so those are my 3 words. So question number 2 is, when in this last year have I felt inspired, alive and excited? And like I said, this year has been some really high highs and some really low lows. And so there has been many times that I felt really inspired, alive, excited, definitely. I think the biggest thing has just been watching my daughter this year. My daughter turns 2 in less than a week. Yeah, it turns 2 in just over a week actually. And so she was just turned 1 at the start of this year, and watching her this last year, the way that she's developed and grown and the way that she sees the world has been extremely inspiring, and makes me excited to see what the future holds. I know a lot of people don't like seeing their children grow up because it's like a bit of a bittersweet moment, but I've just found it such an amazing journey to see. It's said that she's not the little baby anymore, I guess, but seeing her grow, seeing her develop, seeing her learn, seeing her personality that is so strong at the moment come out, and just imagining what she's like in the future, it's really made me excited and inspired me to cherish the moments while they're here, and also look forward to the future at the same time. Other things that really got me alive and excited is this little one. I'm expecting baby number 2, something that I toyed with a lot over the year, whether we were going to go ahead or not, and I'm so happy. I'm so excited and feeling the movements now. I'm in my 2nd trimester, and feeling her move and wriggle around has been really exciting. And the fact that I didn't grow up with a sister. I have 1 brother, and I always wanted a sister. I used to beg my mom to have another kid so that I could have a little sister, but now I'm birthing sisters, and it feels quite amazing. And so yeah, that's definitely something as well. This channel, that's a big one. So I started this channel like I said, beginning of the year, and it has been really an exciting journey. It hasn't been as I specifically imagined it, and it's actually become more than I imagined, and things have changed, but this channel's been really inspiring. And I've also started an Instagram page along with it, Life with Dr. Amanda. If you're not following it, please go ahead and follow. And in that Instagram page, I've met so many amazing people, amazing women to be precise, amazing Black women, and I've met some of them in person, I've met some of them just online, and it's been so inspiring. And the final thing is finding a new career. I think a new job, it's not a new career. I finished my training this year. I went into a new job, and when I first started that job, I felt really inspired. I really felt excited for the new challenge ahead. So those are a few moments that happened there. Now, question number 3 is the antithesis to this. What was my lowest point of the year and why was it so low? And like I said, this year has definitely been my toughest year so far. I think my lowest point was probably halfway through the year. Around July, I'd already been struggling with burnout, with lots of the COVID clinics that I was doing and the work that I was doing, and just felt like I was giving so much and never recharging my battery. Being a new mom, going back into full-time work, that was really tough. And full-time work, the kind of job that I do as well, I found it really difficult. And so, yeah, that was a hard time. But then when it got to about July, I started my new job, and I really thought that was going to be the turning moment for me. That would make everything better, and it didn't. And I started to realise that my priorities, myself had just completely shifted. The kind of person I was had just shifted. Things that made me tick had shifted, and I started to learn that I needed to accept this new role that I had. I wasn't the Amanda from before, who was very career and goal orientated. Although that part of me is still there, I had a different desire now, and accepting that and making that transition and growing through that was a really difficult time for me. And I felt like I lost some connections with some people at that time, but it was something that was necessary to happen. But yeah, that was a really low point. I was definitely struggling with depression then, finding it difficult to get out of bed, finding it difficult to make any kind of content on here, find it really difficult to speak to people. And I just wanted to kind of cut myself off and close myself off to the world. And that was a really, really tough time. And then it got better because I got pregnant, but it was followed by a really tough first trimester. And it feels like just now things are starting to improve, but I still feel like I'm a little bit shaky at the moment, but getting there, definitely. Okay, and the 4th question is about lessons that I've learned. Now, what can I even say? There's so many lessons that I've learned this year. As you can hear, I've had a bit of a journey this year. And so I've written down some lessons that I've learned here. I don't want to forget them. The first one was don't fight against the evolution. Don't fight against the growth. It's going to happen. You need to allow it to happen, and you'll feel better for it through the end. So that's a big lesson that I've learned. You've got to put yourself first. So the reason why I felt so burnt out and drained is because I never put myself first. I made all these rules that everyone else had to be looked after in my family before I was, and it meant that I wasn't able to give anything more to anybody else. And so putting myself first is important to be able to look after other people. And I learned that the hard way this year. So don't be like me, put yourself first. Next thing is to control what you can control the controllables. There's so many things in my life. There's so many times that I've just, your kid getting sick, work being insane, terrible things happening at work for your husband, just like things like that. Sometimes you cannot control them, but your perspective, your reaction, that's what you can control. And so controlling the controllables has been so important for me this year. And I'm also somebody that's always had a plan. It's supposed to be in 2010, I knew my 5-year plan. 2015, I knew my 5-year plan. 2020, my plan started to go not happening. And then 2021, I was like, I don't know what my plan is. I was just going day by day, month by month, and it's okay not to have a plan. And it's actually quite exciting now that I don't have a plan, and I'm just seeing where the Lord takes me. And then also, don't let other people dictate your happiness. I think I've been very affected by the way in which friends have felt, families felt, my husband's felt. If they're sad or if they don't come through for me the way that they're supposed to, it dictated how I felt, my joy, my happiness, and I'm just trying to really move past that. It's about it's about my relationship with God, who's always there consistently rather than relying on other people for your happiness. And that's a massive lesson that I needed to learn, and I'm glad that I've learned. I hope you guys will heed that advice too. And so the question number 5 is about my biggest accomplishments this year. And this is a nice, exciting question actually, because it's been very easy this year to be quite negative, but there's been some massive accomplishments, and I'm sure that you've had some too. Like I said, it's really important to control what you can control, and your perspective is one of those. Practicing gratitude and reflecting on your wins, however big or small. But my biggest accomplishments this year, first of all, is surviving the year. It has been a whirlwind. And there was definitely times where I just didn't want to get out of bed, I didn't want to come home, but I survived the year, and I feel so great right now about where I am. So surviving the year. My children, having a healthy, thriving child. Parenting is tough, but when you see how your child is, it gives you some confidence in what you're doing, and my child is thriving. And I've got another one on the way that is thriving as well. I feel like those are massive accomplishments. There was times in the year where I felt like I was doing low-level parenting when I was really low in mood, but she has flourished, our relationship has flourished, our bond has flourished, and that's a massive accomplishment for me. Next thing was learning how to communicate. Well, I was someone that really kept things bottled up, didn't really like to delve into the emotion behind my actions or the way that I was feeling, the things that I was saying. So just learning to communicate, and that's something that I'm still working on. I'm by no means perfect, but especially in my marriage, learning to communicate my emotions behind how I'm feeling. So rather than just saying, you didn't show up and do this, actually saying, no, it's because I miss you. I'm not going to go into things in too much detail. I'm going to do maybe me and Raf can do a video about communication in marriage, but I've learned a lot, and that's a big accomplishment for me, learning how to communicate, and not just with my husband, but learning how to communicate and tell my parents some difficult things that I'm going through, rather than just keeping it to myself, learning to communicate and tell my friends as well, which is something that I really didn't do before, and also learning to set boundaries as well. And some of those boundaries people may not have liked, that I've not been in communication with a lot of people, some family members this year, but this year has been tough. And I don't think any of them will appreciate that. I don't think a lot of people will appreciate how tough it has been for me, because it's my journey, not theirs. And so I've had to put some boundaries up, and I think it's a big accomplishment, although some people may not have really understood it. It's something I had to do. And then my last two big accomplishments this year is this channel, putting myself out there online. Honestly, before this, I was the kind of person that had an Instagram that would look at other people's posts and maybe post maximum 4 times a year. Now I am like always on there. I'm putting videos out, I'm sharing my life, and it's helping a lot of people. I feel like it's a massive accomplishment. This channel, my Instagram, everything. And my second big accomplishment is finishing GP training. As a doctor, you feel like you spend your life in training, and I've been someone that's done it very run through, full time, the whole time, no breaks in my career. And I started this journey in medicine to become a GP at 18 years old, and I completed my GP training. Now my journey as a doctor, my development hasn't finished, but finishing GP training and becoming a fully qualified autonomous GP has been a huge achievement. And although it's been difficult, I can't negate that. But yeah, so that's one of them. So thank you so much for watching this video. Those are my 5 questions of reflection over this last year. I really encourage you to do them as well. Share with me down below what's been your highs, what's been your lows, what have been your biggest achievements, and what are your 3 words for this year. If you haven't already, please like, share, comment, and subscribe to the channel. It's completely free. And next year there is so much more content coming. There's a new baby on the way, there's traveling, house renovations, staying the lives at work, all of those things, marriage content as well. And the first video about will be kind of like after the vlog of our little trip to Italy, will be a bit of a plan the new year with me, and let's see what we've got going forward from now. But thank you so much for watching, and have a lovely Christmas, a great new year, and I'll see you next year. Bye.